You may learn about investing and how to make the best financial decisions for your life on Investor Facts. Make sure you click the subscription button and enable the notification bell if you haven't already. Share, like, and comment. Warren Buffett is a multimillionaire, and for good reason. He is known as the Oracle of Omaha. Did you guys know, though, that he has made $4.1 billion investment in the new stock? Buffett has purportedly been investing in the business since it went public in March 2019, according to Bloomberg. Given that Buffett owns around 2% of the shares and the stocks is currently trading at $2.39 per share, his investment appears to be worth more than $4 billion. Buffett will profit from his investment to the tune of almost $800 million if the price increased by another 20%. Though if you missed this chance, don't worry, we have a sneak peek at Warren Buffett's stock holdings. Let's talk about anything and everything Warren Buffett bought and sold in Q3 2022 to see what he thought of the markets at that time. How do we begin? To gauge how heavily involved Buffett is at the moment, I always want to try looking at the money on hand. Well, this is the historical cash position of Berkshire Hathaway, which includes the short-term treasuries. As a result, there wasn't too much activity in Q2, and they had $101 billion in cash at the end of the term. How does the fact that they had $105 billion in cash at the end of Q3, again, rather inactive, tell us about how heavily involved Buffett is right now? Given that Berkshire's portfolio had a value of $300.1 billion in the previous quarter, they were probably exactly 1 quarter in cash and 3 quarters invested. Since we are now in Q3, the cash on hand has somewhat increased while the portfolio has slightly decreased. Having said that, Berkshire Hathaway has impenetrable $30 billion in emergency savings for their insurance sector and is holding just over 26% of cash in hand. Therefore, Buffett has the option to make significant investments if he chooses. But it doesn't appear that he did so in Q3. Since that has been said, let's explore Berkshire Hathaway's 13F filing. Naturally, Buffett holds the majority of the stocks in these holdings, but keep in mind that Ted Weschler and Todd Combs also trade under the Berkshire Hathaway brand. Therefore, not all of this is always the boost. And the likelihood that something is truly titled Todd rises noticeably as you scroll lower down the list of these lesser holdings. Additionally, keep in mind that the 13F filing is a U.S. regulatory file, and that is only the U.S. portfolio. Buffett's portfolio, though, is largely concentrated in the United States. Nonetheless, the following lists all the purchases and sales made by Berkshire Hathaway in Q3 2022. From top to down, they increased Chevron, increased Occidental significantly, and decreased Activision Blizzard. They made a very interesting investment in Taiwan Semiconductors. They quite drastically cut back on US Bancorp. In case you wanted to pause now and give yourself some time to process everything, here is the activity chart for the quarter. With all of the data available, what are the most important developments from this quarter that you need to be aware of? Like I said, if we're discussing Buffett personally, we need to focus on his top 10 to 15 holdings. The changes became considerably less significant afterwards. And the lower you go, the more likely it is that Todd or Ted are moving. Therefore, I believe there are 2 key points to highlight when we focus on the top 15 holdings. I'll begin with a major shock, which was significant new investment in Taiwan Semiconductors, TSM, which soon rose to the 10th biggest position in the portfolios. The Buffett influence is certainly strong there, as Buffett has invested roughly $4 billion, or around 60 million ADRs, in this company in only 1 quarter. The share price of TSM rose 7.9% as a result of this news. What does this purchase really mean, though? Well, it indicates that Buffett is not only placing a significant wager on the semiconductor industry, but also that he is not averse to funding major Taiwanese corporations. The manufacturing of semiconductors is dominated by TSMC. According to TrendForce, recent estimates place their share of worldwide foundry sales at 56%. They are the ones who secure significant agreement with titans like Apple, AMD, Intel, Qualcomm, Sony, and Nvidia, after which they go ahead and produce the goods these firms require. What is Buffett's argument here then? My best estimate is that this is a long-term wager that the production of semiconductors will increase and that the enterprise will subsequently become more profitable. Since there is currently a lot of movement and trembling due to large name brands cutting their orders and semiconductor manufacturers slashing their profit forecasts, which is causing further instability in stock prices, Buffett is merely taking advantage of these short-term uncertainties to get in. Therefore, I believe that Warren Buffett is basically saying that while brands and products may come and go, semiconductors will eventually become increasingly in demand, and he wants to capitalize on that trend at a fair price. There might be a great deal of geopolitical tension at the moment between China and Taiwan. However, I don't believe TSMC will be much harm in either situation because, as you may know, the US is aiming to invest massively in indigenous chips in order to become the main global player in the field. Suddenly, TSMC became a crucial partner for China in order for them to keep up. Therefore, even if relations between China and Taiwan became seriously tense, I believe TSMC would still succeed. They are a major participant in the electronic industry, and that is unquestionably the first noteworthy finding from Buffett's 13F. The second significant finding is that Buffett is still investing in these significant oil firms. He increased his holdings of Chevron by 1.4% and Occidental by 16% in the previous quarter. And then, in the third quarter, he bought even more, increasing Chevron by 2.4% and Occidental by a staggering 22.58%. It's interesting to note that he has added to Chevron for the 5th consecutive quarter and has purchased Oxygen for the 3rd consecutive quarter. He now owns more than 20% of Oxygen, given the fact that stocks of both firms continued to rise throughout the quarter. Buffett is pleased to purchase further oil equities, and I don't believe his justification has altered. I'll share some Warren Buffett quotes about oil stocks with you. First of all, he remarked, "When you invest in a sizable oil production company, how it turns out will largely depend on the price of oil. It won't be a geological home run, a super error, or anything of the sort. It is a financial commitment that is reliant on oil prices. So yes, the cost of oil is a key indicator for these stocks. But as he said, in 2007, if we were in an oil stock, it would be because we believe it offers a lot of potential at this price, not because we believe the price of oil is increasing. We could certainly purchase oil futures if we believed the price of oil was rising, which is exactly what we did once." Buffett isn't merely betting on the price of oil. Rather, he's investing in oil stocks because they are well-run companies selling at fair prices. This really fits in perfectly with the current remarks he has made in Oxy. In reference to the Q1 Oxy conference call transcript, for instance, Buffett stated, "I read every line and said this precisely what I would be doing," mentioning CEO Vicky Holub. Both Chevron and Oxy have solid strategies to boost shareholders' returns via dividends and share buybacks. However, it will be fascinating to watch at what point Buffett truly stops being enthusiastic about adding more when the share prices of these companies increase. Although, in general, those are the two main takeaways from Berkshire Hathaway's Q3 13F. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching the entire clip. If you like it, Kindly let us know by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Also, don't forget to enable the notification bell so you can be the first to know when we post a new video. In the following video, I'll see you. Goodbye.